Hi everybody, today we'll have a look at homophones. What is a homophone? A homophone is a word that sounds the same as another word or other words, but, and this is important, the two or more homophones have a different meaning and often a different spelling. And if you find it a little bit difficult to remember the word, the term homophone and its meaning, you can just think homo, the same, and phones, sounds, so same sounding words. Let's have a look at some examples. Here are two words, and I've given you this one. This is a bit of an unusual homophone because it's the same sound and the same spelling, but these two words have a different meaning. And I put the transcription, the pronunciation in the middle for you. So the word is rose, and the first meaning is rose as in the flower. You've got a picture there. And then the second one is the past simple form of the verb rise. So for example, sunrise, the sun rises in the morning. Yesterday it rose at 7 o'clock. So the pronunciation is identical. The spelling is identical, but those two words have a different meaning. This is a pair of homophones. Let's have a look at another example. Here we have three different words. They have the same sound, the same pronunciation, but different spelling and a different meaning. The pronunciation is rein. So three sounds only, r-a-n, rain. Now the first one is rain. This is a word that you've probably learned early on. It's just weather when it gets wet and you've got rain coming out of the clouds. The second one, rain, those are these orange sort of lines on the horse to help you tell the horse which way to go. Those are the reins, okay? And then the next one is reign. This is what a king or queen do. They reign a country, and that means basically to govern. All three words have a different meaning, but they sound the same. Now there's something else that's special about these three words. They can all be nouns and also verbs. Let's have a look at some more examples. Here we've got two words that I'm sure you're familiar with, but maybe you didn't know that they're pronounced in exactly the same way. Right. The first one is right, the opposite of left. Could also mean correct. And then the second word is write, as in to write a letter or to write a text message, which is probably more modern these days. More common, you write a text message. Next example, plane. So we've got an airplane, and the second word is plane, spelled P-L-A-I-N, and this could be a noun, and the picture that I've shown you here is a plain, as is a landscape without any mountain or hill. It's just plain without any elevation. And plain, if it's an adjective, means simple. So they're slightly different in meaning. It just means simple. There's no difference, like could be a plain color, or you could say it's plain and easy or plain and simple. That means there's nothing difficult about it. Plain. And another example, we've got flower, as in this little flower that you can see here. We had a rose, that is a flower. And I've given you a little red flower here. But then flour, the second spelling, is the substance we use to make bread or cake from wheat usually, but you can have flour from other grains as well. And the pronunciation is the same, flour. Yeah, flour. And another example that's quite a common one, caught. And here we've got caught, that is the verb in past simple or past participle form from to catch, caught, caught. And remember, I know the spelling is very different to the pronunciation. You've got A-U-G-H, but it's just a long O sound, caught. Have a look at the transcript. And then court is also the word, here it's a noun, that we use to describe a sports court. Here this is a tennis court. You could also talk about a volleyball court or a basketball court. And we also use the word to talk about a court of a king and a court of law. So it's always referring to a place. Another example, aisle. Now I put this down because really the spelling of the second example is so different to its pronunciation. The first example, aisle, from I will, the contracted form that we use maybe, for example, when we make a promise, I will always love you, I'll. I think everybody knows this one. And the pronunciation of the second one is identical. I know there's an S there, very misleading, but you do not pronounce it, I'll. And the aisle here is, for example, in a supermarket. You have a supermarket aisle. You can see it in the picture. It's like the corridor in the supermarket. And you can find like the vegetable aisle, or here this is the aisle with the products for the bathroom. And you also would use this word to describe the aisle on an airplane. So you can have an aisle seat and sit on the side where the people walk in the plane, or you can have a window seat. That is the opposite. You would sit on the window side. Aisle. And another example. Buy. Buy as in to buy, to go shopping, to buy things in a supermarket, in a shop. And then of course we also have buy as in goodbye, to wave goodbye. And there was a third one I didn't add, but of course the preposition by, it was made by me, B-Y, is the same. It's the same pronunciation, by, for all three words. And one more. Pair. So the first one always means two of something. For example, here we have a pair of fish. It could be a pair of socks. A pair is always referring to two of something. And then the second one, pear, is in the fruit. Not an apple, it's a pear. And another example, where. Where as in the question word, or could be a relative pronoun. Where is the post office? Where is the cinema? When you ask a question, where. But also the verb wear. For example here, this woman is wearing a blue dress. She's wearing sunglasses and a hat. Wear, it's like the clothes you wear on your body. Now, can you think of another example of homophones? If yes, why don't you leave an example of your own in the comment section below, and I will have a look at them and reply.